What's up, y'all? We live. We live. We good. We good. We good. Should be a pretty good night. Um, getting tweet this out real quick. Getting put this up on the screen. Do something real quick. Put the TV footage on my TV so I can see that too. That way I can actually see when this shit actually gets started. I can't show the actual draft. um, this is gonna have to do. Just pulled up the ESPN draft tracker. All right, cool. Kind of whack putting it in Green Bay this year a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you. Could definitely think of some more interesting cities to go to for a draft, but I mean, it is a historic place NFL wise, so it's not the worst. Yeah, I'm sure they're booing Roger Goodell. Yeah, boo, boo that dude. Checking out Twitter real quick. I mean, once this opens up, like we shouldn't really have anything to talk about in terms of the Titans, like in terms of like who they're gonna draft or anything like this. At this point, the Titans should know who the hell they're drafting. I think we all know it's probably Cam Ward, if I had to guess. There's a lot of fucking people out there in Green Bay. I don't know if I'd want to attend live. That seems like a weird thing to go to live. I mean, I'm sure the tailgating would be fun, I guess, but I mean, I guess I can talk about the Titans a little bit, but I'm gonna be talking about them for a little while. The timer hasn't started yet. Um, shit. Nah, I was hoping I could just do that. I guess I can't. This is a all 32 stream. I'll be talking about all the teams. Try to be unbiased as possible, but I am a Dolphins fan, so I do have that perspective as well. If you're not familiar with me, yeah, man, we know they're going quarterback. We know they're probably going Cam Ward. I mean, sure, everyone could use Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, but I mean, I think we're all pretty certain they're going quarterback here. Still haven't started it. Damn, I almost wish I would have waited a couple minutes till they got Wheezy though. That's dope. AJ Hawk. Man. You know, the pageantry of the draft kind of grinds on me a little bit. I mean, I say it every year. Like, it just takes way too long to get through, like, longer than it needs to. Like, just start the damn clock. This is supposed to start at 8. All right, the Titans are now officially on the clock. Fantastic. But really, they've been on the clock for months. And like I said, they should already know damn well who the hell they're drafting at this point. How many picks do the Titans have? Okay. So they got first, second, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and 2 sixths. Okay. Ain't too bad for them. The no third rounder could be kind of rough. This draft has got a lot of third and fourth round talent in it. Very loaded middle of the draft. They're talking about Shedeur Sanders, but I think we're all pretty aware it's Cam Ward. I don't think it's really a secret. I think most people probably have Cam Ward over Shedeur. I definitely do. Not by a lot. I do have my big board ready. I can put up on the screen when I need to. I'll just go ahead and do that. As you can see, you know, I got Cam Ward 6, but Shedeur Sanders is only 9. So, you know, I'll put this back on screen. I think we're all pretty aware of who the hell the first pick is going to be. I think we've been aware of that for months now. I don't know why this would take any time at all. I think we're all pretty aware it's Cam Ward. Just got to kind of wait for them to officially announce it. Unless they're discussing a potential trade up, which I don't think is happening. like I said, we've known who had the first overall pick for a while now. Like, I don't see why it would really change now. But Cam Ward himself, I mean, good, talented player. We'll talk about him more when it's actually official and he's drafted. But yeah, they're already showing tape of Shedeur Sanders up there at the days of Jackson State, even though we're all probably pretty aware that this is about to be Cam Ward, not Shedeur Sanders. If I had to guess, I will be curious to see where Shedeur Sanders goes. In my mock, I had him going third. I don't know if I necessarily think that's going to happen, but it's what I think the Giants should do. I mean, you could draft like, Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, whichever one is still available at 3. But the thing is a defensive end or a wide receiver / corner is not going to turn your franchise around like a quarterback could. But man, the Titans have taken a while, and I don't really get why. You've had the first overall pick for months. Like, they're just technically now on the clock, but they've been on the clock really for months. Unless like someone is really talking to them about a trade, which I don't really see that. Lot of big questions. Where's the run on wide receivers not named Travis Hunter going to start? The Tet McMillans, the Luther Burdens, the Matthew Goldens, those types of guys. Where's Ashton Jeanty going to end up going? The run on defensive tackles as well. The 2 guys from Michigan, especially Mason Graham, like, there's a lot of talent early in this draft, but I don't think there's that many first-round grades. I had 15 on my board. First-round grade talents, and it usually gets to around like 20 or so. So, in my opinion, there's not as many first-round grades as I normally have. So I am kind of curious to see, where this stuff is going to end up falling. And I will be talking about each team pretty evenly. I'll try to, but I am a Dolphins fan first and foremost. So I will be talking about the Dolphins maybe a little bit more, especially as our pick gets a little bit closer. But yeah, man, they are really taking their sweet time. Do they just want to watch the highlight tape of both quarterbacks real quick to make their decision? Is that what they're doing? Maybe they didn't actually watch film this whole time, the Titans. Maybe they were just waiting. We're going to wait till draft. Oh, pick us in. Thank God. We're just wait until draft day. Watch the highlight tape that ESPN comes up with. Make their decision off that. Yeah, they're showing Cam Ward. I think we're all pretty sure it's him. He looks emotional. Maybe he just got a phone call. Maybe not. Who knows? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, he is the number 6 on my board, but like, I don't think he's like a perfect prospect by any means. I wouldn't blame the Titans for taking him, obviously, because they need a quarterback. And like I said, I think Abdul Carter, Ashton Jeanty, Travis Hunter, not necessarily in that order. I think they're all far better players than him, but they're not going to make the impact that a quarterback is going to. And I do think Cam Ward can help your team. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know how Mel Kiper still has a job, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, his whole job year round is just draft ballot. It's always so bad. All I know is if I was that inaccurate at my job, I'd be fired. That's all I'm saying. But who am I? I'm just a YouTuber. I don't even get paid, so who knows? Yep, I'm sure they're booing Roger Goodell. I got it on my screen. I can't show the actual draft on my stream. That shit would get taken down so fast. It is Cam Ward. All right. It's exactly who we thought it would be. But all right. So I'll read off my notes on Cam Ward. Really big arm, can make all the throws that you want him to make. Can definitely make some plays with his legs. Strong as hell. Will lower his shoulder into people, but I do think I would like to see him protect himself a little bit more, slide, get out of bounds a little bit more often. He also tends to hold the ball a little bit, which kind of comes with the territory of having a mobile quarterback. I think his decision making could be a little bit faster, and I think his accuracy is okay, but I think that could stand to improve as well. Same with ball placement. But he throws the football very well on the move. He likes RPOs. He looks a lot better when he's playing fast. Does show flashes of accuracy. Can throw a velocity touch. He, like I said, he can make all the throws. Like I said, I don't think any of us are necessarily surprised. I think we all were very well aware that Cam Ward was going to most likely be the first player off the board. I think we were aware of that for months now. So we shall see. Real quickly, I'm just changing things on my board personally just to mark that Cam Ward has been drafted. So yeah, moving on. Oh shit, the Jaguars just traded up. I mean, we kind of figured this might happen. Damn. So the Browns are now at 5. Interesting. I mean, they made it sound pretty obvious that they were going to go for Ashton Jeanty. Like, that seemed to be why they were interested in trading up. We'll see if that actually happens. I'm not really sure who would have drafted Jeanty. Like, if that's really what they were going for. I mean, Travis Hunter, trading up to get Travis Hunter, I think makes a little bit more sense. I wonder what kind of haul the Browns got out of the Jaguars. That'll probably take a little bit of time to figure out. Let me see if there's anything on Twitter. Browns. Okay. The Browns receive the number 5 pick, the number 36 pick in the second round, and the 126th pick in the 4th round, and then a first round next year. Damn. The Jaguars get the 2nd overall pick, the 104th in the 4th round. So they swap 4ths, and they get a 6th round this year. Man, the Browns get 2 first-round picks. Man. And a 2nd. They swap 4ths. Oof. Man, that's substantial to move up 3 spots. But, I mean, when you're this high in the draft, I mean, you kind of have to. But doing that for a running back would be kind of crazy. Like I said, Travis Hunter, I think, would make a little bit more sense. Even Abdul Carter, a premier edge rusher. But Jeanty is an absolute monster. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, man. It's kind of taking a while. You would think you trade up like this, you should be like running to the podium, like you know who you're going for. I wonder when the last time, just getting my Ashton Jeanty notes ready to go, because I'm assuming that's who is probably getting drafted here. That's what all the rumors were on social media, that they would be trading up to go get him. Like I said, though, fantastic player. Believe Ashton Jeanty. Yeah, number 3 on my board overall. So All right. Pick is in. Probably going to take a little while to announce it. Looks like they're still kind of talking about Cam Ward a little bit. Understandable. Let him have a little bit of shine. First overall pick and all that. I'm actually kind of surprised the information on that trade is out already. Usually it takes a little while. I'm guessing that means scouts already knew this trade was happening. It's very possible details had already been worked out before the draft. Michelle and Travis Hunter looks excited. That would make more sense than trading up for Ashton Jeanty. Jeanty's, like I said, he's a great player. But trading up for a running back, I think, I don't know. To second overall, giving up 2 first rounds for a running back, I don't know about that. And a second. Jaguars look happy. Which, I mean, I'd hope so. With whoever they end up drafting. What if it's something random? Will Howard. Not even Shador or anyone or any of the other top quarterbacks to replace Trevor Lawrence. Some drama. But no, I would imagine it's Jeanty or, like I said, Travis Hunter. Who they got announced in the – well, actually, first round is all Roger, right? Here he comes. Coming to the podium with the pick. At least Roger's like a little bit less nonsense with it. Like he kind of just says it. Pageantry is usually before he gets out there. I'll see it before it comes on my TV. I'll see it on here. Usually. Or maybe not. He's giving a little bit of a speech. Who they got to announce that pick? All right, man. I appreciate it, but don't make it about yourself. Just announce the pick, please. I like it's great. Your Walter Payton Football Man of the Year award. But this is about the guys getting drafted today. Yeah, he's gonna give a whole speech. That's cool though. Let's see. Got Eric Armstead up there. Shout out to Eric Armstead, but let's announce the pick. Is it Hunter, Jeanty, something random? Suspense is killing me. Let's see. Could be like Abdul Carter or something, but I doubt it. Damn, he's still talking. That is some shit. Travis Hunter, thank you. Jesus. I wasn't actually listening to what he said. I was just watching the feed. But I'm kind of curious. I'll probably have to watch it back later to see if he announced him as a corner or a wide receiver. On ESPN, it says corner. I hope the Jaguars let him play both. But I'll go over my notes. He's very talented player, 6'1", 185 pounds. I had him, like, I'm going to talk about him individually at both positions first, and then I'll talk about him as a whole. If I was just evaluating him as a corner, he's a top 5 overall value. If I evaluated him just as a receiver, he's a top 15 overall value, in my opinion. So when you put him, when you put it together, he is a fantastic player. I'll start with his wide receiver notes. Colorado moves him all over the formation. Great speed, good yak guy, great vertical threat. I think he's best served as a yak guy. He's not necessarily a crazy route runner, but I think he could improve there. Can absolutely make people miss though. Strong hands, fantastic ball tracking. Gets off press very well. Good body control. Natural hands, attacks the ball away from his body. He can box people out very well. Attacks the ball. Just overall very good receiver. Like I said, I think he could stand to improve his route running a little bit. Colorado really didn't ask any of the receivers to run too crazy routes. But as far as his cornerback notes, I think he's a very intelligent corner, reads quarterback's eyes very well, can break on the ball with speed, elite athlete, very physical, uses the sideline to his advantage. And man, I do think he's very smart in zone as well. I think he can do both. I think he's a good and willing tackler. Can get a little bit grabby. I think that could cause some penalties at the next level. Like I said, I think he can play zone very well, but I actually think he's better in man. Press or off coverage, he's good at both. Good hips, good feet, very good understanding for the game. And obviously with him being a receiver, he does have good ball skills. Like I said, the ball tracking is good. Definitely a fantastic player. Makes a lot more sense to trade up for him. I'm just going to be completely honest about that. Just going to go ahead and mark that Travis Hunter is gone. Okay. On my board. Okay. So now we got the Giants. Pick is already in. Fantastic. I love this. Giants could go a lot of places, though. Let me pull up the Giants. Yeah, I mean, quarterback, like I said, makes a lot of sense. I feel like they almost got to. I mean, not really. You could go Abdul Carter for sure. But I feel like it's either got to be him or Shedeur. Like, what else are you going to draft? Like Tet McMillan? I don't know if I would do that with a quarterback on the board. Just because they do need quarterback really bad, and that's the way to fix your franchise, or at least to start it. Mason Graham was a fantastic defensive tackle. They need that. But, man. Like I said, my mock draft, I had the Giants going Shedeur. I don't know if they will or not, but just going to show my mock real quick. So far, I'm not doing too bad. I'll go ahead and just make that the full thing. I had Travis Hunter going second overall, but I didn't do any trades in my mock draft, so there is that. Let me have this back. They're showing some Hall of Fame stuff. I mean, that makes sense. They're in Green Bay, very historic football town. But I'm very curious to see where this is about to go. It's really going to make the Patriots pick very interesting. Like I said, I think Abdul Carter is clearly the better player. But like I said, I had Abdul Carter as my second overall player. But, and, Shedeur is my ninth. But quarterback value matters like a lot. So we will see. I'll change the music up a little bit. Let's do this one. Just using the default ones that are on StreamYard. I ain't doing too much. Okay, cool. Roger Goodell's already up there. Nice. Abdul Carter. Cool. Yeah, get these picks in and out, man. Let's go. So yeah, I will talk about Abdul Carter. Let me pull up my notes on him. I didn't know for sure which which one it would be, if it would be him or Shedeur. I mean, this makes sense. This was the best player available by far, and I do understand the idea of not moving away from an elite player, but he's very good. 6'3", 250 pounds, plays all over the place. Plays linebacker and edge. Mostly played linebacker last year, or not 2024, but 2023. But played edge this most recent year. Has good bend, and actually at linebacker, he's actually decent in zone coverage. But I don't really want him to do that. You just really want him as a pass rusher. Defeats the hands on the outside as a rusher. Good ball get off. Good tackler. Pretty explosive for his size and fast. Times the snap very well. Has some power to him. Very good with his hands, good rip move, motor's good, contact balance is great. I'd like to see him rush with a backup plan a little bit more. Like if his initial move doesn't work, I'd like to see him have more counters to stack on top of each other. Sets the edge very well. I think he can play either as a 4-3 defensive end or as a 3-4 outside linebacker. I think he'd be just as good at either one. If I had to pick, I'd say 3-4 outside linebacker would be best. He gets his hands up to affect throws a lot. And like I said, he's really only played edge for 1 year, so he's very good right now, but I think his upside is very high too. Yeah, I think this guy is an absolute monster, and the Giants definitely got a very good player. Like I said, he was my second overall player on the board. And quite honestly, I think Abdul Carter is a better edge rusher than Hunter is a corner or a receiver, but the fact that he plays both at an elite level kind of sets him apart. It's kind of how I see it. So, Patriots are on the clock. Let's go ahead and talk about them. I wish I could just click on the logo. Can I do that? Yeah. Can I do that? I can do that, though. Cool. So yeah, I don't know what they should do. Abdul Carter's gone. What did I say in my mock? This is where I had Abdul Carter going. I mean, you could go wide receiver. None of the offensive linemen are good enough to go here. I mean, you could go Genty, pick a Zen. Genty's definitely the best player overall. Tet McMillan's an absolute monster, though, so I couldn't. And they did say they wanted to get a true number one receiver. So that would make sense. I could see either one. Position value, Tet McMillan would be an absolute monster. But the better players, definitely Genty. And who knows, maybe they don't like, maybe Tet McMillan's not their number one. It could be Burden, could be Golden, could be Igbuka. We'll see. But me personally, out of the receivers left, I've got Tet McMillan, Igbuka, Burden, Golden. Like out of the guys I just mentioned that are first round talents. Obviously, as we get into later in the draft, I'll talk about more people. But I've got 5 first round grade wide receivers, which is actually a lot. It's the most I've got in any position group this year. But the Patriots are definitely going to be interesting. Pick's been in for a little while. I actually kind of like the pace so far. Hasn't been too crazy. Hasn't been too crazy slow. Hopefully, it doesn't slow down too much. Get through some of these picks. Like I said, Patriots are kind of wide open. They kind of need everything. Like I said, offensive tackle would definitely make sense. But none of them I'd draft here at 4. Like Josh Simmons is my favorite offensive lineman, but the injury makes him not worthy of drafting here. I'm not taking Banks this early. So to me, the only players that really make sense is either going Ashton Genty, which is best player available, or going receiver. That would be what I would do. I would do one of those two. Either one makes sense. But, I mean, they did talk about wanting to get a number one receiver, and they really didn't do that. So, getting a guy like Tet McMillan or whoever their number one receiver is in this class Tet McMillan is mine. And actually, even over Hunter, I do like Tet McMillan as a receiver better than I do Travis Hunter purely as a receiver. As an overall player, Hunter's better. But I did have Tet as my number 1 receiver, if you didn't watch my top 5 video. Commercial break, gonna commercial break. That's unfortunate. Let's see what Twitter's feeling. Anything crazy? Probably not. I'm seeing PFF saying that they drafted Will Campbell. Is that true? I hope they did. As a Dolphins fan, I hope they drafted Will Campbell 4th overall. I just delayed? Like, what's up? I'm going to wait for it to actually show up here before I actually talk about that. I'll go ahead and pull up my notes on them, though. In the meantime, if I've got a lead on who it might be. Shout out. I'm just going to say now, I don't have Will Campbell this high. He's not a bad player. Just 4th overall is a little crazy. I know a lot of people were talking about him as the best offensive lineman in the class, and I don't agree. But we'll see. This commercial break's taking too long. It's probably true. Because I mean, they most likely got sources in the Patriots or in the Patriots and in this draft process. I'm sure they got people in both. But we'll see. Shout out to you, Randy. Patriots about to. I mean, if they really do have Will Campbell, though, I'm not gonna laugh because he's not a bad player. It's just 4th overall would be a little crazy. But I mean, we'll see. And they do need offensive line. So, I mean, I just think that Genty or one of the receivers are far better players. Yeah, it is Will Campbell. Okay. Okay, so offensive lineman from LSU, plays left tackle. Plays very high, really no knee bend at all. Catches his opponent rather than strikes. Because of the no knee bend thing, he tends to lean a lot to get to his opponent first. Decent hand bite to him, but I do want him to be first, like I said, rather than catch his opponent. Has shown flashes of striking, but he doesn't do it consistently at all. Tries to strike with one hand sometimes, which I'm not necessarily against if you're just trying to vary your strikes to make yourself less predictable, but I just don't think he has the consistent hands to pull that off. Feet are okay. Not super powerful. I definitely think he should stay at tackle. I've heard some people wanting to put him at guard. I don't want him to do that because, like I said, I don't think he's that strong, and I don't want him against 300-pound defensive tackles all day rather than play against edge rushers. Like I said, his feet are okay. I do think he needs to not mess with his hands as much. I think he's kind of a little inconsistent overall. Going to need to improve that. And he's not really going to move anybody. I think he can play left tackle for you pretty decently. Like it said, he does have decent hands. I do want him to improve them. And like I said, he's got to be first and don't miss. Cut out the lean in. Hopefully you can coach him into bending his knees a little bit better. I personally had a 2nd-round grade on him, but that's just me. Not necessarily thinking he was going to go in the 2nd round. That's not what that means. Because, like I said, I only got 15 first-round grades this year. And I usually have like 20 to 25. You don't typically have 32 first-round grades. It's just not how that works. But I do have Will Campbell as my 3rd overall offensive lineman. So, like I said, he is a good player. It's just there was far better players available. But I mean, no, he's not. Now, one thing I will say, even if you're looking at my board, if you're scared, if you're desperate for offensive line, like you're desperate for a tackle, some people don't see Kelvin Banks as a tackle; they see him as a guard. I see him as a tackle personally. But if you're seeing him as a guard and you're scared of Josh Simmons' knee, then I could see maybe going Will Campbell. But like I said, Ashton Jeanty, take your pick at receiver besides Travis Hunter, whether it be McMillan, whether it be Golden, Ibuka, Burden, whatever. Whichever one you like. I think they're all better than actually all the offensive linemen in this class. But, that's just me. I'll be able to answer that better when we're closer. But like Malachi Starks would be good. Josh Simmons would be good too. Like I said, I am a little scared of the knee injury. We're not that lucky with injuries. We really need DBs. So I mean, Jahdae Barron would be good. Let's see. Akua would be a little early. Well, not really. Mason Graham, if somehow he fell. Great, but that ain't happening. If we find a way to get Mason Graham at 13, I'm losing my mind. I just want to make that clear. But I don't know. It's not. I mean, like I said, Malachi Starks. Like we need DBs fierce. Now, like in terms of people I'd be mad about. I mean, if I really wanted to get crazy, like Quinn Ewers or something. But I don't really want a receiver unless, we kind of get wiped out and somehow Ted McMillan or something is just sitting right there. Then I necessarily wouldn't be against it. Well, and tight end would be kind of whack. Any of them. Mason Taylor, Tyler Warren, whatever. I know we did visit with Mason Taylor. Yeah, Kenny Grant would be great. But I do prefer Mason Graham. He's far better. Pick is in for the Browns. I guess I can talk about the Browns. Let me do that. Let me give them their due. Quarterback would be interesting here. I mean, they need a cheap quarterback. They really do, unless they're just going to roll with Joe. They could go offensive line as well. Wide receiver would make a lot of sense. Whoever they prefer. I think Ted McMillan would be pretty good. Pretty hard for Joe Flacco. Kind of like some bigger receivers too. So I mean that would make sense. I think value wise, I think Ted McMillan would be really good. Jeanty would make sense. Man, I don't know. Browns could go a lot of different ways. They kind of need everything. They're the Browns after all. Let's go ahead and close that. I don't need their eval. They show. I might use it. Oh no, that's the ESPN. Mason Graham. Well, Mason Graham's gone. That makes total sense. Great pick, Browns. Damn it. Yeah, I mean, fantastic player. Fantastic player. 6'3", he was like 320 being reported like during the season, like from ESPN, but I think he ended up being like 296 or whatever. But lines up everywhere, violent ass hands, strong as hell, explosive as hell, takes on double teams, pretty athletic and explosive. Very good with his hands, solid pass rusher from the interior, intelligent in the run game. I think he can play most spots. I think he can give you snaps as a 3-4 DN, a 3-tech, a 1-tech. Great at gap exchanges, explosive, angry, violent, very polished player. Yeah, Browns definitely I don't know. Yeah, I would say that they won. Yeah. I mean, 2 first rounders, a second. You flip fourths, like, man. And you get Mason Graham out of it. That's, oof. Man, Mason Graham and Myles Garrett is disgusting. That is disgusting. What do you even do against that? Oof. Man, oh man, that is disgusting. Did I even mark on my boards? No, I didn't. Um, just doing this for myself. This early, it doesn't really matter me marking who's gone. But like once I get to like day 3, we're in the middle of the 5th round. I got to figure out who the hell's still available that I like. Yeah, I imagine the Raiders go Genty. I think that's what most people think. That's what I mocked. I think it makes sense. It's interesting. I was hearing all the rumors in the world that the Jags were actually going to trade up for Genty, but I mean, once they traded the 2nd overall and Hunter was still available, I mean, it made it kind of clear what they were doing. Let me actually just pull up my Ashton Genty notes real quick. I'm not going to read them yet until he's actually drafted, but let's get that ready. Because I think we all know that's who's getting taken. Sadly, though, that Browns offense is going to be trash for a while. I mean, they're kind of just learning to accept that they messed up with Deshaun Watson, which is fair. But, man, it really does put them in a rough spot. Kind of taking a while. I wonder if they're talking to somebody. I mean, they're walking around like they figured something out. I don't know. I don't see a phone or anyone's hand. We'll see. But honestly, Genty is like my last like truly elite talent. Maybe Tet yeah, I'll say Tet McMillan's an elite talent too, actually. But I mean, we'll see. I think everyone kind of has their own take on who the second best receiver is behind Travis Hunter. But I actually have Tet McMillan. That's just a receiver. Like I said, is above Travis. But that's just me. I think those hands are special. All right, pick is in for the Raiders. Let's see. It's got to be Genty. I would imagine. I don't know. The Raiders do weird things sometimes. We'll see. Tom Brady's involved. Imagine just Will Howard. Yeah, it is Ashton Genty. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But very good player. Had lots of carries throughout his career, though, which is the only thing really concerning. But absolute insane production. Caught more passes last season than this year, but he has shown the ability to be a very good receiving back. Can block his ass off. Great vision, explosive as hell. Absolutely run your ass over. Powerful. Not afraid of dirty yards whatsoever. Amazing elite contact balance. Can, like I said, can give you good receiving production, good hands. He catches the ball away from his body, keeps his feet moving through contact. Physical, angry ass player. Not afraid to step up and block even an edge rusher. And doesn't need a ton of space to be able to make a big play. Plenty of long speed, good stiff arm, shifty, great lateral movement, and hard as hell to tackle. I know a lot of people kind of poo-pooed on him for not being super productive in the playoffs. But to be fair, they were loading the box on his ass, and he still got 100 yards on him. So that's got to mean something. This dude is a fantastic prospect. Like I said, the only possible knock I've got on Genty is the amount of carries he's taken. That is a lot of punishment. But as a prospect, as a player, like can't really get a whole lot better than that. Let's see. The Jets. Let's talk about the Jets. Wide receiver still makes sense. They're best available. Fucking webcam going blurry all fucking sudden. D tackle they still need, but like Kenny Grant, this would be really early for him. Could go offensive lineman, whoever they like best, whether it be Banks, whoever they like. But I would say receiver makes the most sense. Whoever they like best. For me, it would be McMillan, but yeah, I mean we'll see. If I do this, yeah, I didn't do anything. Whatever. Already an hour into this, and we are only at pick 7. This is not going as fast as I thought it was. I mean, you know that's going to happen with the draft, but Jesus. Let's see if Twitter's saying anything. PFF has been pretty accurate so far. Well, PFF saying they drafted Armand Membao, like you like, Randy. Like I said, I do think he's a good player, but this would be very early for him, in my opinion. We will see. I'll wait for confirmation, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up my notes on it because they haven't been wrong yet. Okay. Got them pulled up. He's still talking. Pick is in. PFF says it's Membao. Yep, interview Genty. Now let's announce the Jets pick, please. And Panthers are gonna be interesting. They could literally do anything, and it makes total sense. Like I said, PFF saying Mbao, but we'll see. Ain't been wrong yet. Shit, maybe I should just like be getting my information from PFF. Like as far as who's getting drafted. They're announcing this shit way faster than ESPN. Almost tempted to just read my notes on them now and move on to the Panthers. But I ain't gonna do that. Change the music up. Turn up a little bit. I ain't feeling that at all. It's a little better. Like I said, I'm just using the default ones that are on StreamYard. To be honest with you. Damn. They're taking forever. What's Twitter feeling? Like I said, I do think he's a good player, very athletic. It's just I like my offensive line strong. I'm not saying he ain't strong, but like I don't know, a little raw too, physically, technically. But yeah, Simmons for sure. I think Simmons pre-injury is like a top 5 value player. Like especially if you take quarterback need out of it. Shit, are you gonna announce it, man? Don't make this take any longer than it already has, man. I hate when the pick is in and they just waffling. Yeah, it is Mabau. Okay, should have just went with what PFF said. All right, so yeah, offensive lineman from Missouri. Oh, cool. My camera came back into focus. That's cool. Athletic right tackle, 6'4", 332. Very big guy and very athletic for his size. Moves very well, moving left and right. Um, can reach block very well. Better in the run game than I think he is in the pass. Um, I think technically he is pretty raw. He misses with his hands a lot in the pass game. I think his hands get wide in his stance as well, which causes him to miss. He does show flashes of good hands, and when he does, they look like really good reps, but it's just not consistent at all. Can move well in open space, good zone run guy, kind of scheme dependent. I think pass pro definitely needs some improvement, but I think his athleticism can help him there. Definitely think he needs to stay at tackle. Unlike some of the other people, he does actually have decent knee bend. I do like that. Feet are okay, but I think they could be a little bit faster, a little bit more fluid, especially in pass pro. Um, Plays with decent control, not a whole lot of anger in his game. Smooth athlete, isn't trying to whoop you, isn't really going to move you. But like I said, some really solid traits to him. I think this is pretty early at day 2 pick, day 2 value on him. I had Kelvin Banks and Josh Simmons as my only 2 first round value offensive linemen. But we'll see. Let me mark that he is gone. There you are. Okay. Panthers. Pick is in. Nice. Man. The receivers are still there. Like I said, none of the edge rushers really make a whole lot of sense here. Like I said, Abdul Carter. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go defense. We don't have a defense right now. We kind of put ourselves in a hole, especially if we really are going to trade Jalen Ramsey, like it's being discussed. Yeah, we have to go defense. Got no choice. Our offensive line isn't even a hole; it's just missing. But we're going to have to go defense pretty much the whole draft. We need an interior D lineman. I don't feel good about our linebacker depth. We got 2 injury-prone edge rushers with Chop Robinson as our only decent depth guy. If Jalen Ramsey's gone, our whole cornerback room is bad. Our safeties are concerning at best with Ifeatu Melifonwu and Ashton Davis. Yeah, defense is pretty whack. Um, yeah, but yeah, Calvin Banks would be a decent option. I'm not that high on Will Johnson. I won't say I don't like him, but in terms of corners, I do have some guys above him. He's actually my number 6 corner. I do have a second round value on him though. I like Jahdae Barron. Uh, I got Ravel Morrison and Azrae Thomas above him, and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is my number 1 corner, but sometimes I almost forget to mention him because he plays both. I don't really know what to consider him, but I do think he's a better corner than receiver. I just kind of question Will Johnson's athleticism a little bit in comparison to some of the other guys. I think Jahdae Barron's a beast, though. Would not mind drafting him. And he's a guy that could play corner and potentially play some safety for you. That'd actually be a really good pick. Malachi Starks would also make a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, the 2020 draft is pretty rough, too. But we also have no cap space. Like, we can't even pay these guys right now. Like, it's really rough. Like, we're going to have to do something. And, like, there was talk about people trying to trade Jonnu Smith. I think that would be really stupid. Yeah, let's trade the guy that was the most consistent part of our offense last year. And he's making $4 million. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, our whole defense is a whole. Like, I would like to be able to potentially draft a backup quarterback at some point, but I don't think we can. I think we're just going to have to run with Zach Wilson as our backup. We just got too many holes, and we got 10 picks, but shit, we got more than 10 spots we need to fill. So it's going to be a rough spot. I guess I'll take a peek at PFF, I guess. Damn. They're saying they drafted Tet McMillan. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense if that's the case. Like I said, even over Hunter, just as a pure wide receiver, I do like McMillan better. Like I said, Hunter's a better overall football player, but McMillan is special. I think he's the last elite talent that was left. I'm just pulling up his notes right now. It is Tet McMillan. Okay. Amazing player. 6'4", I believe. Amazing ball tracking, attacks the ball, special hands, will come down with every catch. Great jumping ability, elite body control, amazing 50-50 guy, pure X wide receiver, very physical, great elite catch radius. If his hands are in range anywhere near the ball, he's coming down with it. Can get some big boy yak, actually has a little bit of wiggle to him, has the speed you need. Great at keeping his feet in bounds, one-handed catches for days, has long strides that can get him some pretty good yak, especially in open space. Lines up all over the formation, but like I said, I do see him as a pure X, but you can move him anywhere just to get, play matchup night where you got a 5'10" nickel corner, guard this dude. I'm going to make you do it. And yeah, he's not an amazing route runner, but if you're drafting Tet McMillan thinking he's going to be an amazing route runner, you messed up. Like, that's not what you need him to do. Just let him do go balls like deep throws, throw some slants to him over the middle, shit like that. Give him the DK Metcalf route tree, and you'll be great. But that is my last like truly elite player, in my opinion. That was left in this class. You got some other really good players, but that's the last elite one. They are a good duo. Yeah, you're right. Ted McMillan and Xavier Leggett are a very good duo. Some physicality too, man. That could help establish your run game a little bit too. Saints are on the clock. Pick is in. This could be a run at receiver because they need receiver too. Like I said, you could go corner. I mean, if you like Will Johnson or it would be Jahdae Barron for me, but I know a lot of people like Will Johnson. But I think one of the other receivers I think makes sense here. Whichever one they like, Igbuka, Golden, Burden, whichever one they like. PFF ain't say nothing yet. Okay. Just checking. Saints ran to that podium, boy. Absolutely sprinted. Don't know, buddy. Okay. I guess I'll check PFF when they go to commercial and shit and don't announce the pick. Booker McFarland's another dude. I don't know how he keeps getting jobs. I don't get it. He's moderately entertaining, though, I guess. Mel Gibson looks like a damn goblin. Looks like those goblins that worked at the bank in Harry Potter. I say that every year, but PFF says they just drafted Kelvin Banks. That's the case. That kind of hurts. Really hope that ain't the case. Here, take a minute. Getting closer to our pick, too. Kind of nervous. Chris Grier doesn't exactly give me a lot of confidence as we're getting closer. Terrified the way he drives. And I'm really curious when Shedeur is going to go. I mean, based on recent rumors, it sounds like the Steelers, but that'd be crazy him sliding that far. Sounds like he really fucked up the interviews. That's what it sounds like. People were talking about him as like a top 5 pick. And now they're talking about him at 21. It's insane. All right, Goodell's walking out there. I imagine it's Kelvin Banks. Makes some sense. Yep, it is indeed Kelvin Banks. Okay. So 6'5", 315, plays left tackle, power in his hands, attacks with his hands pretty well. Overall, good with him. Not the most powerful guy in the world. Solid feet, though. Good hand fight. Doesn't settle for bad hand position. Solid knee bend, which is good. Sometimes leans more than I would like. Plays with good base. Plays with good leverage when he's not leaning. Can move people in the run game a little bit. You don't necessarily want him inside. Like, I know a lot of people want him to play guard. I just don't think he's necessarily strong enough. But climbs well, good athlete, keeps his feet moving. Like I said, I would keep him at tackle personally. I know a lot of people are wanting him to play guard, but I do not. I think he's definitely a tackle. Because I know for some people, they just think guards is inferior tackles. That's just not what it is. It's a different job description. And I mean, that makes sense. Not counting Josh Simmons, Kelvin Banks was my best offensive lineman. And I understand why you wouldn't necessarily want to draft Josh Simmons this early just because of that knee. So, I mean, that makes sense to me. But the Bears pick is in. Let's talk about them a little bit. I mean, D tackle could make sense here. I mean, Kenny Grant, I guess. But again, wide receiver. Like I said, a lot of first round grade wide receivers, but that could make people want to wait. But I don't think this receiving class is necessarily that deep. I think you got 5 first round grades, in my opinion. But I think it does fall off at some point. Ain't like some other positions. I'm curious to see where linebacker falls because there is not a lot of good linebackers in this class. I got one that I actually really like. Like literally one linebacker. I like Jahad Campbell. That's it. That's the end of linebacker for me. Carson Schlesinger is okay. Demetrius Knight's okay. But Jahad Campbell's the only one like I feel like really good about. I know a lot of people bring up like Jalen Walker, but I got him as edge. Personally. All right, they're coming out to announce the Bears pick now, looks like. Really? Yo, announce the pick. Yo, schedule release, man. We can look at that later. This is more important. We kind of already know who everybody's playing. He's supposed to announce the pick. All right, man. We ain't even halfway through this, man. You're doing all this shit. Yeah, it is kind of moving now a little bit, but then they just grind it to a halt. Man, I'm trying to get to the Dolphins. We're almost there. We're at pick 10. We got to get 13. Like I said, this is an all 32 team, but I'm definitely getting anxious and nervous. It sound like. I'll take it. Yeah, pick is in. It's been in for a while, man. Pretty much was in the second you announced the Saints pick. 49ers are interesting, too. They need a lot. They probably got to go receiver. You know, it'd be really interesting. They go Shedeur Sanders. But right now, we're talking about the Bears. All right, man. Yeah, rest in peace to him, but let's announce the pick. All right, actually, you know what? This makes sense. It's the 50th anniversary of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. It is the Bears pick. I guess that makes sense. To take some extra time. That one makes sense. I'll allow it. Not that I have a choice. PFF probably already has the Niners pick. Shit, they might even have a second round at this point. Taking too long. All right, it is okay. I did see him. At this point, I'm just gonna go with what PFF's saying. Fuck it. It is Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan. Obviously, he was better the previous year when J.J. McCarthy was his quarterback. Oh, damn. You're moving? Damn. But Loveland, really good blocker, lines up all over the place, good athlete, physical, plays in line, at wing, slot. Not much wasted motion, which is good. Gets his hands inside as a blocker. I think he's a better blocker when he's on the move. Not really going to move people, but he does hold his blocks pretty well. Good motion guy. Actually has a route runner, pretty decent route runner, smooth athlete. Catches the ball well away from his body, can get some big boy yak. Can get the ball to him downfield very well. Kind of similar a little bit to like a Dalton Kincaid a little bit. I don't really like doing player comps, but they did kind of jump out to me a little bit while I was watching him. Kind of weird to draft him at 3. I'm not going to lie to you, especially with the talent that was available. And I think this tight end class is pretty damn good. And me personally, I had 3 tight ends. I'm sorry, I had 2 tight ends over him. He was my 3rd overall tight end. I had Warren and Mason Taylor above him. But he is a good player. And they're kind of like stacked on top of each other for me. Very close. But so where are you moving to? You moving far or like local? Niners pick is in. Yeah, I feel like offensive line definitely makes sense too. To Orlando. Love it up there. Traffic sucks, but you know. Offensive line definitely makes a lot of sense here. Gotcha. I do like Orlando, though. I don't go there enough despite not being too far. You're not wrong. I haven't been to Miami too many times, but you're not wrong. Miami's is worse. You know, I bet PFF already has the 9 pick. Let's see. Oof. They say they drafted Michael Williams. I think that's real early. I know a lot of people really like him. I'm not as high. I'm not. I don't think he's a bad player necessarily, but you know. I'm just getting his exact measurements because, like, in my notes, I still have his measurements from like when I first watched him before the combine. So, getting his exact height and weight. Sometimes ESPN is off. If it'll load. Who knows? Maybe it's not even a pick. Maybe this one time PFF's fucked up. I'm gonna go ahead and read it anyway. So yeah, he's 6'5", 260. Not too far off from what I had. I had him at 265. But long arms, Great physical traits. Runs down the middle of people, though. Not a ton of production. Rotational guy, even in college. Great physical build, though. The 6'5", 260. That's great. Has no real counters. Doesn't rush with a plan. Is extremely raw. I think he's a slightly better run defender than he is a pass defender. He plays with decent leverage. Sets the edge decently. But I think this guy doesn't really know how to play football. I think he's strong. I think he's decently athletic. I think he's got a great build. Like I said, the long arms, a lot of great physical traits, but he has no idea how to pass rush right now. Yeah. I think you're drafting this guy purely off physical traits. I think he can be a very good player. He's got a very high ceiling. Like I said, he's very physically gifted. But like I said, he has no counters, has no moves. Yeah. I think this is really early for him. I had a 3rd-round grade on him. I know a lot of people really loved him. Not a bad player. A 3rd-round value is not necessarily a bad player. But, yeah. I'm floor guy. Unapologetically. He was my edge rusher 10. Personally. But I know a lot of people were super high on him. So I can't be mad. So that would mean that the Cowboys would be on the clock if that is legit. How about the current starting quarterbacks of in a Colts situation is weird, man. I'm interested to see what the Colts do. Anthony Richardson versus Daniel Jones is a hilarious quarterback competition. Either one of them dudes know how to play quarterback. Physically gifted, especially Richardson. But all right, let's go ahead and officially announce the Michael Williams pick for the Niners. I mean, if you were gonna go edge, I think like Mike Green or James Pierce would have made more sense. Personally, I think they're both better. Even Princely Umanmielen, if that's how you say it, from Ole Miss. I have a hard time with that dude's last name. Like him better too, even though he's not perfect either. Goodell's walking to the podium. We'll refresh this. This didn't break nothing. All right, cool. That's why I was scared to do it before. I was scared to do something to the stream. I think Dallas needs safety too. Yeah, it is Michael Williams. Let's talk about Dallas real quick. Be fair to them. Wide receiver, I feel like they gotta go receiver. Like they gotta pair a receiver. Like they gotta get somebody to go with CD. And they got their pick. Apparently they like Golden. Makes sense. Texas. Sounds like a Jared Jones thing to do. And he is a very good player. I personally got Burden and Ibuka above him. But I think he'd be a very good player. And I think he would offset CD pretty well. If that's what they decide to do. I imagine they go receiver, though. I would be surprised if they didn't. PFF ain't saying nothing yet. Seeing nothing. Pick is in for Dallas. But assuming that Dallas goes receiver here, whether it be Igbokwe, Burden, or Golden, I assume they will. It sounds like they're going to go Golden from what rumors are going. Players I would like, not necessarily in any order. Malachi Starks would be good. Jahdae Barron, Josh Simmons, I'd be happy with. Tyler Booker could be interesting. Doesn't really fit our scheme, but I don't really care. I won't say I don't care, but you know, he's so good at this point that I think I'd be willing to do it. But in order, I'd probably say Malachi Starks, Jahdae Barron, Josh Simmons. Kenny Grant would also be very good. Maybe even Kenny Grant over Simmons just because of the knee, but Simmons is such a better player. My first pick would be Malachi Starks. Okay, Tyler Booker is off the board. That's interesting as hell. He goes to Dallas. Okay, did not expect that. I expected receiver. So that takes him off the board. He does fit the Cowboys a lot better than he does us, to be fair. So offensive lineman from Alabama, 6'5", 325. Tough as hell, strong as hell, very coachable, can pull very well, pure guard, powerful, angry, great finish, good help guy, digs people out of their gaps very well, good knee bend, plays with good leverage, has really good hands, stops his feet sometimes, though. It's one thing I want to see him improve on. Takes good angles. He does sometimes lean and lunge in the run game, especially when he does stop his feet. Plays left guard right now, which I imagine he stays there in Dallas. They do need a left guard. I think he's a fantastic player. But moving on to Miami. Now that I can see our options, Malachi Starks definitely screams to me. Kenny Grant would be a really good pick. We do need interior D-line really bad. Andrew Mukuba, I'm actually higher on than most people. Jahdae Barron would be good. Josh Simmons, I would understand. With Tyler Booker gone, there isn't an offensive lineman I really want right now. Like Josh Connerly would be my next guy. But, yeah, I wouldn't draft him right now. He does fit our scheme pretty decently. But if we were going to go offensive line, Connerly would be the guy. But, like, I do think Malachi Starks is the better player over Kenny Grant. But we'll see. PFF say anything? I'm nervous as hell. Nope. Nothing. Oh, we haven't even put our pick in yet. Never mind. I'm so nervous. Yeah, we're kind of running it down a little bit. Yeah, 5 minutes left on the clock. I wonder if we're talking to somebody. I mean, if we can get a bag, like, I wouldn't necessarily be against trading back. There isn't really a player available that, like, I feel like you can't trade away from. Malachi Starks would probably be my pick, but Like if you were gonna stay and trade, but I don't think if someone's really willing to give you a bag, I'm not necessarily against it. Like if we can get kind of like what the Browns got, I'm down. We need a lot of players, but we'll see. They are sure taking a while. Shoot, players that I wouldn't want. Will Johnson would kind of annoy me, but it wouldn't like piss me off because it is a position need. Walter Nolan would piss me off. I don't like Walter Nolan that much. Tight end would piss me off. Any of them right now. There's some good guys, but we just don't need tight end like that. And there's better players. All right, pick his in for the Dolphins. Here we go. We're not trading it. Yeah, Walter Nolan would piss me off too. His contact balance is really bad. He falls a lot. He's strong, athletic, but boy, his contact balance pisses me off. And I know a lot of Dolphins fans are like really high on him. Now, if we can get him in like the third round, I wouldn't necessarily be against it, depending on what's available. But right now, quarterback would piss me off. I think one of the most Dolphins picks you could probably go with would probably be like Dylan Sampson, the speedy running back. Damn, this commercial is unfortunate. Come on, man. I've been good trying to talk about every other team and like with respect. I'm trying to hear my pick. Don't piss me off. Don't be like Walter Nolan. Don't be. Like I said, Malachi Starks makes sense. Kenny Grant is fine. Jahdae Barron would be fine. Josh Simmons would be good, even though I'd be concerned with the injury risk. Yeah. One of the receivers can make sense, even though we don't really need receiver, but like Ibuka, Burden, and Golden are so damn good. Golden would make a lot of sense for the Dolphins too. I don't necessarily want that, but just because of how this team overvalues speed, Golden would be right up our alley. But like I said, Starks at this point would be my pick because our defense is whack, and I do think he's better than Kenny Grant. But Kenny Grant would be a solid pick. If I had to go O-line at this point, I would go with Connerly, tackle. Guards, man, Wyatt Millum. Yeah, not yet. It's a little early for Wyatt Millum. Come on. Pick is in. Come on, announce it. We don't need a bunch of pageantry right now. All right, Goodell is walking to the podium. Just announced the pick, so I get rid of the anxiety one way or the other. All right, Kenny Grant. Okay, I can take that. I can take that. My pick would have been Malachi Starks, but I'm absolutely okay with Kenny Grant. Okay. Nose tackle, but very athletic. Can play some three for you, which is great. 6'3", 339 pounds, big old boy. It moves extremely well for his size. Explosive as hell. Gets his hands up to knock down passes. Very strong with his hands. Overall, just powerful as hell. Gets into the backfield. Disruptive as all hell. Great motor. Doesn't stop. Very hard to move. Has a great anchor. Doesn't have a whole lot of pass rush moves. He's mostly just going to push the pocket. But that's honestly okay. Honestly, just his physical traits and hand usage gives him some value in the pass rush game. But really, you're bringing him in to help with the run. This guy is an absolute monster at nose. Can play some 3-4 defensive end, can play some 3-tech, but he is a surefire nose. I think he plays with enough control to play straight up 0. That is a very good pick. What wasn't my first choice. Like I said, Malachi Starks would have been my first choice, but I am absolutely happy with him, with Kenny Grant. Love that. Oh, I don't have to be pissed off. Okay. I at least get to be happy with the pick. I can take that. Like I said, Starks. And you know what? To be fair, defensive tackle was a bigger need than safety. But I just think Starks is the better player. Because I do think Ifeatu Melifonwu and Ashton Davis are a little bit better than like Benito Jones and Matt Dickerson. So, I mean, that makes sense. And obviously, Zach Sealer's a beast. But all right. Let me give the Colts their due. Yeah. I'm definitely more than happy. No, we did not reach horribly. Like I said, I only had 15 first-round grades, and there wasn't many left. Like I said, Josh Simmons, I understand with the knee. And we didn't need receiver or quarterback. So, I mean, I'm not mad at it. So as far as the Colts go, man, I have no idea. They got their biggest need as a tight end. That's interesting. Pick is in. I might have traded back if I were the Colts. Quarterback would be really interesting. It really would. Oh, it is. Okay, straight up. It's Tyler Warren. Okay, that came in fast. Jesus. I appreciate that. Let me pull up my Tyler Warren notes then, I suppose. He is my tight end 1. Plays wing, fullback, inline, slot, and he even takes some direct snaps in the Wildcat. Runs with violence, attacks the ball, catches the ball away from his body. Not a great route runner, but he's a tight end. He's 6'6", like 257, so that's fine. Will absolutely get you some big boy yak, though. Physical player, edgy player, gritty. Will elbow people when he's running his routes, which is kind of entertaining. I'd say he's a willing blocker, but definitely needs some work there. Will catch anything thrown to him. Very, very good contested catch guy. Isn't going to create a ton of space, though. I do think he could definitely stand to improve his technique as a blocker, but he is a strong, angry blocker that just needs to improve technically, but he is very willing. Has the strength to move people, but like I said, just lacks the technique. I had a second-round grade on him, like I said, with Kenny Grant. This kind of makes sense here. You're kind of running out of first-round talents. Moving on to Atlanta. Edge, huh? Yeah, it's lower. Well, I mean, you could go like Mike Green or something. I would go receiver. It's crazy that these receivers are falling. Ibuka, Burden, and Golden are monsters. I personally think that receiver makes the most sense, just value-wise. Shedeur Sanders, sure enough, is still here. He ain't going to Atlanta, obviously, with Penix, but let's see, where could he go? Seattle, possibly. But it is kind of looking like Pittsburgh would be like Seattle and Pittsburgh would be like the next two like quarterback needy teams. Because it ain't gonna be Atlanta, ain't gonna be Arizona, definitely not Cincinnati, probably not Tampa. Baker's doing really well down there. So Bo Nix did pretty well for the Broncos. And then, quite honestly, if it ain't the Seahawks or Steelers, he's probably making it to next year. Jesus. Tomorrow. That's what I meant to say. Let's pick it. No, it's not. Atlanta's taking a minute. They're probably talking to somebody. This could be the Steelers. Trying to get ahead of Seattle, maybe. Or one of the other quarterback needy teams that is out of first round picks. I think Pittsburgh, if they get a decent quarterback, they could be in a good spot. You got DK, you got Pickens. I don't know how the hell you're going to keep them satisfied, but if you get a quarterback, that's a good start. But honestly, though, going back to Dolphins pick, now that we got Kenny Grant, it does kind of help conceptualize like what we can do with the rest of our class. Like now that D line is kind of taken care of. And it's good too because this D tackle class is good, but it does kind of run out eventually. Safety does too, though, to be fair. I know we interviewed Kelvin Winston, who I do like, by the way. We could potentially get him tomorrow. I know a lot of people aren't really talking about him that much. Like they're talking about him as like a day 3 guy. I have a second round grade on him. I think it's a third. It was a second at one point. Yeah, I did bring him down to a third. He ended up being smaller than he was being reported. I think I brought him down after the combine. Yeah, Atlanta still hasn't put their pick in. They got to be talking to somebody. At least I would think. Huh. This is interesting. Imagine they go quarterback again. We just run with Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix, and Shedeur Sanders next year. 3-way quarterback competition. That would be hilarious. Don't trade none of them. Maybe they can get in a competition with the Browns for the most expensive quarterback room. Damn, what the hell is taking Atlanta so damn long? I hope they take this long and do something stupid. What would be a funny pick? But like not completely unreasonable. Like Nick Scorton or something. Like a guy that people are talking about as like a first round grade, but I definitely don't have that. I got a day 3 grade on that dude. I don't really like any of the Texas A&M dudes, actually. I got day 3 picks on value on all 3 of them. They have 30 seconds left on the clock. Are they the new Seahawks? Seahawks used to do this. It's take forever. Atlanta didn't exactly. Oh, okay. Pick is in. Can we announce it, please? I already waited long enough. Maybe they said like knocked on the Falcons' door, like, you know, we announced the Tyler Warren pick way too fast. Slow down. Maybe that's what that was. Arizona's kind of interesting too. I felt like they got to go. I don't know. I'm just surprised that these receivers are still available. I'll tell you what, though. If the Bengals do anything besides offensive line or defense, if I were Joe Burrow, I'd sue. Wait, what? Once we get to that. This pick is taking entirely too damn long. All right, PFF, do your thing. They're saying Jalen Walker. Okay. So I might irritate some people here. Because I am not as high on Jalen Walker as some other people are. I'll wait and confirm that it is indeed him. Got his notes pulled up. I'm glad we didn't go Jalen Walker, though, to be fair. Even though we do need edge and linebacker, that's not what. Because I don't see him as a versatile guy. I see him as a positionless guy, which is different. This is not the same thing as Travis Hunter. All right, it is indeed Jalen Walker. Okay, so 6'1", 240 odd pounds. What was it exactly? 243. Lines up at edge sometimes, linebacker sometimes. Doesn't really rush with a plan. Kind of runs down the middle of people. Very athletic though. Some good ball get off. Good tackler. I think he's a subpar edge rusher, and he's also a linebacker with some athleticism. Has no real pass rushing tools. Just kind of runs down the middle of you. Tries to just win with speed. At linebacker, he's not that great in coverage. I don't think he backpedals super well. I don't think he moves side to side very well. Can dodge blocks a little bit decently, but isn't that great at getting them off of him once they get contact. I think he needs to read and react faster if he is going to play linebacker. Needs to read his keys faster. I think he should play edge more than linebacker. I think he's better moving forward. Like I said, he doesn't have a whole lot of a tool bag. He's a little bit better in the run than he is the pass. I think he's extremely raw. But he does have some good athletic pieces to him. I had a second round value on him, but it's pretty low second. Yeah, I think this is a little rich for me. But moving on to the Cardinals, who also have not put their pick in. Wide receiver still makes sense. They need wide receiver, and they're available. So that's what I would do. Take your pick. Whoever you like. You got Matthew Golden, who's kind of a jack of all trades, has some good route running, has good speed, good yak. You got Burden, who's a better yak guy. And then you got Igbuka, who's a better route runner. Whatever you like. I think the yak guy kind of makes more sense, though, because Marvin Harrison is a fantastic route runner. So You want to kind of offset that, get some good yak ability with Burden maybe, or maybe go Golden because Marvin Harrison, if he's not really that fast, which is why he's not that great at yak, and he's not bad at it. Route running is what he's best at. So, but pick is still not in. Okay, we are kind of moving a little bit though. We will be at the halfway point after this pick. That's cool. They might be on the phone with somebody too. Shedeur Sanders is still available, so trading up for quarterback makes sense. What if the Steelers trade up, but they get like Quinn Ewers or like Jalen Milroe or something, Jackson Dart, something weird. Will Howard. I know. Well, actually, I don't know if Jackson Dart would be back. I do like Shedeur better. I know a lot of people ended up liking Jackson Dart a little bit more than Shedeur. I'm not one of those people. This open Minnesota kind of exploded on me, so that's great. That's great. Oh well. Wasn't too bad. I'll get that later. Pick is in for the Cardinals. Just realized I hadn't actually tweeted about Kenny Grant. Cardinals went Walter Nolan. Hilarious. Not necessarily a bad player, but this is very, very early for him. So I see him as more of like a 3-4 defensive end kind of guy. Can play some 3 tech, could potentially play some 1. Kind of played 1 tech at Ole Miss, but I'm just getting his official measurements. 6'4", 296. I actually had that correct. Balance isn't great though. Strong as hell. Decent burst to him. His burst really showed up at the Senior Bowl. Played pretty well there. They play him at 0 and 1, which I don't really think fits him necessarily super well. I think he's better as like a quick, bursty 3 tech or 3-4 defensive end. Kind of stiff. No real pass rush moves. Kind of runs down the middle of people. He falls a lot more than I would like. Kind of gets moved sometimes too. Needs to finish. Overall, I think he needs to be a more consistent player. Like I said, some good ball get off. He sometimes loafs too. So there are some effort question marks for me. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I had a 3rd round grade, and honestly, at one point, I had a day 3 grade on him. He moved up a little bit to the 3rd round, like end of the 3rd round, after his Senior Bowl performance, because he did look very good there. But yeah, that's Walter Nolan off the board. Not exactly upset about that. Walter Nolan going before Derek Harmon and Tyreek Williams is crazy. They were right there. Like I said, I do think 3-4 D end is probably the best fit. Bengals are on the clock, so let's go ahead and give them their due. They only got 6 picks. That's interesting. Corner. They definitely do need corner. Yeah. I think offensive line or corner. Yeah, they need defense in general. Jahdae Barron is still available. If you like Will Johnson, he's available. Ravel, if you like him. Besides Hunter, you get your pick. Corners. Pick is in. All right. I'm so happy the Dolphins didn't take Walter Nolan, though. I was actually kind of scared that they might. Low key. Kenny Grant, I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy. Oh, that's super solid. Super solid. Like I said, I would have went with Malachi Starks, but totally fine with Grant. But yeah, I definitely feel like Bengals got to go defense here. Malachi Starks would be the best defender available, in my opinion. Jahdae Barron, though, a very good corner, more of a position of need, more of a premier position as well. We'll see. And Seattle's where things get interesting. Curious to see if they go quarterback. Well, no, they're not going to go quarterback, probably. I forgot they actually got Sam Darnold and picked at their roster. So, yeah, he's probably going to be a Steeler, Shedeur Sanders. And, let's see. They moved on from Lockett and DK. They probably got to go receiver then. So, I would imagine Bengals probably go I mean, they got to go defense. They have to go defense. Their defense was so bad. Offensive line also makes sense. Who would you go with? I mean, Josh Simmons is still there. Injuries are a little scary. Connerly, know him? No. Too early for those guys. I would go with Starks or Barron. That's just me. Commercial break to take in a minute. Oof. The PFF has them taking Shamar Stewart. Man, that's a reach. That's a reach and a half. Yeah, pull up my notes on him. All right, Shamar Stewart. Let me see if that's his official measurements. I think he ended up being a little bigger, smaller. So yeah, this is more of an edge rusher then. Because I was kind of debating in my head with Shamar Stewart whether to put him at edge or interior D-line, but at 6'5", 267, I think you're kind of forced to put him at edge. I honestly wanted him more as like a 3-4 defensive end kind of guy. I think that's where he fits best. But he runs down the middle of people, not bendy at all, not super productive. Once you have him blocked, he stays blocked. Doesn't have any pass rushing moves. He's a rotational guy, even in college. Has no counters, no moves. Decent burst for his size. But honestly, now thinking about him as a 267 guy, his burst isn't even really that impressive. It was impressive when I thought he was 281. Because that's what ESPN was reporting him as. Like I said, I wanted to put him inside at 3-4 DN. Very raw player, traits guy, solid power. Loses track of the ball sometimes. His awareness and instincts are kind of lacking. I'm not really a fan of him. I'd beef him back up and move him as like a 5-tech. That's what I would do. But yeah, I'm not a fan of any of the Texas A&M kids this year. Like the D lineman, like Nick Scorton, the other Shamar Turner. I'm not a fan of that dude either. But anyway, Seattle's on the clock. I mean, I feel like they gotta go receiver. JSN is a good player, but they gotta go receiver. They need a number 2. DK is a Steeler, and Tyler Lockett's a Titan. Gotta go receiver. As far as who, like I said, I don't think really. I personally would probably go Igbuka because he's who I had ranked over the other two, but Burton is right there with him, and Golden's not far either. So, where did I have him on my big board? I can't remember. Golden was 11, Burton 8. Yeah, Igbuka and Burton their tags were touching at 7, 8, and Golden was 11. So, yeah, I don't think it really matters. What is this? Yeah, this makes sense. Seahawks are going to do Seahawks things. They're going to take a while. I'll take that. What's this sound like? I like this better for this. Seattle always takes a while. Pick is in. Okay. Although ESPN's not announcing it. I see it on TV that the pick is in. There it is. Cool. Like I said, it's got to be receiver. Take your pick. You got 3 of them. Like I said, Igbuka would make all the sense in the world. Golden makes sense. Burton would make sense. We'll see. Tampa's interesting. But I feel like if Pittsburgh, once we get there, if they don't go Shedeur, they better hope they can get Aaron Rodgers. Although I wouldn't want Rodgers at this point, like at all. I think the Steelers would be better off running with Mason and Shedeur. Let them battle it out. Maybe just let Mason start this year, let Shedeur develop a little bit. That's just what I would do. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. Legend. Absolute legend. One of the best to ever do it. But ain't that dude anymore, and he's not worth the headache. That's just my take. Yep, go ahead and announce the pick. Pick has been in for a little while. Let me refresh it. Dell is at the podium. Gray Zabel. You took all that time to draft Gray Zabel at 18? All right. Was not expecting him to get drafted right now or today. Good player, though. Let me find him. That definitely threw me off. But offensive lineman, North Dakota State, plays tackle, 6'6", 305. Obviously, North Dakota State, lack of competition is a thing. But did look good at the Senior Bowl, which is good. Actually looked stronger at the Senior Bowl than he did on film, which is awesome. Moves well, has some power to him. Can play most schemes. Has played left guard and right tackle, so versatility is nice. Has played both sides and both positions. That's great. Hands get wide instead of inside, which isn't something I love. Sometimes ends up with his hands on his opponent's back. Has good knee bend at times, but it's not consistent. Plays kind of high, and he is 6'6", so he does need to bend those knees. Good football IQ. Isn't really going to be moving people, even though he did look a little stronger. Definitely better for a zone run scheme. He isn't whooping the small school kids, which isn't great. If you're going to play against like lawyers, accountants, and people like that, and people that aren't going to play football at the next level, I kind of want you whooping their ass. But he did play well against them. He just wasn't whooping them. I do think he should stay at tackle. I know some people want him to play guard. I don't think he's strong enough for guard. Like I said, he did look stronger at the Senior Bowl, but I don't think he's strong enough to make me want to play him inside. So, yeah, I mean, I had a second-round grade on him. It's not the worst here, but, like, I just feel like Josh Connerly is a better tackle. If you viewed him as a guard, I think Wyatt Millam is a better guard. So, yeah, I just think it's kind of a reach, personally. But I do like the player. All right, Tampa is on the clock. Let's go ahead and give them their due. Yeah, corner still makes sense. They always need edge. Yeah, they do need linebacker. They did like a Brett, and yeah. The receivers definitely aren't getting any younger. And the receivers are, yeah, actually, that makes sense. Evans and Godwin both had injuries last year. As far as which one would I prefer for the Bucs, I think Burton does things that the other two really don't. I mean, obviously Evans is your straight up X, like big body guy, and Godwin's more of your slot, like route runnery kind of guy. I think Burton would be a good one to add, but either way, you could go corner too, whichever corner you like. Pick is in for Tampa. Not a ton of trades tonight. I'm not gonna lie. After the Colts, things have gotten kind of weird. Actually, really after the Dolphins. I wouldn't actually say Tyler Warren was necessarily like a reach from the Colts, but like Jalen Walker, for me, for Atlanta was definitely a reach. Walter Nolan, Jamar Stewart were definitely reaches for the Cardinals and Bengals. And Zabel is fine, but there's better linemen available. And they really need receiver. Like, who besides JSN, who do they even have? They did sign Cooper Kupp, but are you really thinking he's going to stay healthy? Marcus Valdez-Scantling, that dude can't catch. River Craycraft's cool. Yeah, I would have went receiver, fam. And there was 2 better offensive linemen than Zappe. And they got him listed as a guard. They do have him listed as a guard. Then, yeah, Milam is better. Whatever. Not my team. Seahawks doing Seahawks things. They haven't been able to draft well in a minute. Although they were getting better for a little while. I don't know. People really thought the Dolphins were going to take Shedeur Sanders? What the hell's wrong with y'all? Like, for what? PFF says Tampa took Emeka Egbuka, which is a great pick. If that's the case. Like I said, their receivers are aging quick. And they were both hurt last year. So adding another guy, and Egbuka does make a lot of sense. Got some similarities to Godwin. He is my next best player available. I do prefer him over Burden and Golden overall. It is, in fact, Emeka Egbuka. Cool. So, he is 6'1", 202 pounds. Good yak guy, even though, like I said, Burton is better at that, so is Golden. But good contact balance and burst, can jump very well, stops and starts quickly, can do some gadget stuff with him, has some experience as a return man. I'd say he's more bursty than fast, but he does have the speed to get the job done. He has elite level route running, slot receiver with good gadget potential. Bit of a body catcher at times, doesn't really attack the football like I would like him to. I would say he's a willing blocker. I'm not great at it, but at least he's willing. A lot of receivers aren't even willing to do that. Explosive, understands zone coverages very well. Not really a contested catch guy, but a smaller route runner, slot guy. If you're expecting him to be filling Mike Evans' role, you're sadly mistaken. But as a route runner, guy that can create space, guy that can get yak, yeah, absolutely. And putting him with Godwin and Evans is nasty work. And like I said, Evans and Godwin are not getting any younger. So this makes all the sense in the world. And he's been super consistent throughout his college career. He just hasn't ever had the opportunity to be the number one, still isn't in Tampa, because they've always had a better guy. But, yeah. All right, the Broncos are now on the clock. You know, a lot of people are saying they're going to take running back. I think I even did. Yeah, I had him taking Omarion Hampton. They definitely do need one. It's going to be interesting. They're taking a minute. They might be looking to trade back too. At this point, I feel like it's probably legit that the Steelers are probably getting Shedeur. There seem to be a lot of people that are kind of thinking that pre-draft. I just thought that the Giants needed a quarterback so damn bad that they would be more inclined to take him than they were. But I guess not. I guess not. Not that they could go wrong drafting Abdul Carter either. But, you know. These sure are taking a minute. It is harder though. Like as you get like later into the round, it does get harder to make these calls. Like, you know, when you got Cam Ward and you need a quarterback, you got Travis Hunter, you got Abdul Carter. Like it's easy to just run to the podium and go get those dudes. Mason Graham. But, you know. Jeez, a couple of What's this one? It's different. I'll go with it. Not exactly hype about the Broncos, but you know, don't they have like not a lot of picks? I don't know. Get 7. I feel like one of these teams has like 4. Damn, they gotta be talking to somebody. They gotta be talking to somebody about a trade. It's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, could be someone that doesn't have a pick left tonight. Like one of these quarterback needy teams. Giants, Browns, something like that. Trying to get ahead of the Steelers. Pick is in. Okay, don't got to worry about that. I'm just really curious where Shedeur is going to go. Quarterbacks are interesting. Yeah, they're showing Mel's best available. I'm not as high on Will Johnson as some others. I do like that Josh Simmons moved up his board, though. He definitely deserves to be up there. I do feel like it's probably Marion Hampton. I feel like a lot of people were mocking him to the Broncos, including myself. I think it makes a lot of sense here. He's a very good player. Just getting his notes ready right now because I assume it's probably him. Could be wrong. Just announce the damn pick. No one's at the podium yet. Shit, PFF announced it yet? Well, they didn't go with Marion Hampton. That's a good ass pick. That's a good ass pick. Damn. Jahdae Barron, huh? That dude's a monster. I'm going to wait for it to be official. Yep, Jahdae Barron. Yep. Okay, so 5'11", 194 pounds, Texas. Always around the football when he's in zone, but also very good in man. Great ball skills, good tackler, physical player. Can get handsy at times, so could have some penalty problems. Plays outside corner, plays on both sides of the field, but also has had snaps at nickel, free safety, and strong. He's good in off coverage and in press. I think he's very good in zone, but I think he's great in man. Quick feet. He's actually a decent blitzer, which is cool. Can follow receiver. Has all the athleticism you need. Doesn't have necessarily elite speed, but it's just fine to get the job done. Great football IQ. Yeah, I like this guy a lot. This is a very good pick. This is a very good pick. He was my number 2 corner. And the fact that he could potentially play some safety for you is nice too. All right, Steelers. Well, they lined up for you. Could go receiver. I don't really know why you would. Oh, I do, actually. Because you got 2 big receivers in DK and George Pickens, both of which are kind of difficult to manage mentally and personality-wise. Getting like a Matthew Golden that could be like, a smaller, speedy route running guy, I think would be a good fit. Definitely would not go corner. At this point, Jahdae Barron is the only guy I would have thought about. But I feel like they probably got to go quarterback. I mean, unless they really just want to run in with just Mason Rudolph. Or if they're closer than we think with Aaron Rodgers. But at this point, I'd be ready to just move on from Rodgers at this point. That's just me. Still have not named their pick. Haven't even submitted it. I imagine this is probably where he goes. Come on, Pittsburgh. People got to work tomorrow. People meaning me. All right, pick is in. Like I said, quarterback definitely makes sense. They definitely need it. Receiver, like I said, if you want to go like Golden or something, that also works. But I feel like you probably got to go QB. I have heard some people talking about running back, which makes sense. Does make sense. Marion Hampton, Caleb Johnson, they're both still available, but that also probably means you can wait to go get one. There's a lot of good running backs in this class. This would probably be your last chance to get an elite receiver, though. But they don't necessarily need one. All right. Goodell's at the podium. Derek Harmon. Interesting. That caught me off guard. Very good player, though, from Oregon. Let me pull up my notes. More of a 3-tech kind of guy. I did have a second-round grade on him, but at this point where he's being drafted makes a lot of sense. It was a high second-round grade. 6'5", 310. Very active player, great motor, uses his weight well, eats double teams, active hands, but could use some work with him as far as accuracy goes. Bats balls down well, has a great straight arm. Very physical player, quick, explosive, disruptive. Good ball get off, good stack and shed, good anchor. It's hard to move him. Very strong. Needs to finish a little bit more consistently, but he doesn't quit. Plays with good leverage. Not a whole lot of pass rush moves. Plays a little bit high sometimes. Kind of runs down the middle of you. Can push the pocket. I definitely want him playing 3, but he can play some 1. Good reaction time. I had a second round grade on him. Very good player. Kind of surprising. Thought they would go quarterback. Now I'm very curious to see what happens with Shedeur. Chargers. Yeah, I mean wide receiver. Probably. Take your pick. Take your pick of receivers. I'm not gonna lie. All the positions I was thinking, I was not thinking D line for Pittsburgh. Not there. That probably means they're closer than we think with Aaron. If I had to guess. Unless they're really ready to just run with Mason for a year. That'd be interesting. I'd be pissed if I was TJ Watt. Run with Mason Rudolph on purpose. Not a terrible quarterback like a high level backup, but man, I wouldn't make that your plan as a starter. Like if he's got to play 5 games for you, he can probably win like 2 of them, 2, 3. Keep you on track, but that's about it. Chargers taking a while. Like I said, back half of the first is usually when it kind of slows down a little bit. Unfortunately. Kind of thought we might have some more trades. We could though, with Shedeur sliding, we could see another one. One of these quarterback needy teams come up and try to come get him. It's hot in here. I'll be tired as hell tomorrow. Friday anyway. Who cares? It's taking a minute. What's Twitter saying? Still on the clock, huh? I'm tired of this bald bitch. Is hilarious talking about Chris Greer. I ain't mad at him tonight though. Derek Harmon was an alright pick. I don't like the situation he forced us into, where we don't have a damn defense. But don't have a defense or an offensive line, or depth anywhere. You know, Thank God we got a punter. Although I'm not mad at getting Ryan Stonehouse. He's a good player. But that was a position of need. Bro, Chargers, make your damn pick or trade it, bro. Imagine he goes to the Chargers, Shador. It'd be hilarious. Controversy. Make him a Wildcat quarterback. Despite that, Herbert can scoot a little bit too. People really wanted Tyler Warren with Dolphins. Why? We have a tight end. We don't have a defense. Damn, Chargers are really taking a while. Like I said, they got to be on the phone. Like, I'm sure there's teams trying to fit, like some of these quarterback needy teams, they're trying to figure out what it's going to take to get back in the first. I'm sure that's what's going on. If I had to guess. Really taking this down to the last 10 seconds. Imagine if you didn't get your pick any time, you just don't get the pick. Low key. Oh, there it is. Low key, I kind of feel like that's what should happen. Like, Chargers didn't get their pick in, just go straight to Green Bay. Especially in the first round. First round is still kind of predictable. Chargers made us wait this long, and now you're gonna hold us up even longer. What kind of shit is this? PFF ain't announced nothing either. Okay. Like I said, receiver makes the most sense. Still got 2 elite ones available. Well, not elite, but good. Golden and Burton. Take your pick. Burton would be my pick, I think. Yeah. Actually, it might be Golden. They could really use some like serious speed. And they got Rager, but he ain't good. Omarion Hampton. That is a good pick. It's a very good pick. And they ran the hell out of the ball last year, so. The washed out running back. So, Omarion Hampton, very good player. bigger dude, like 6 foot, 220. Elite contact balance. He's from North Carolina, by the way. Breaks through arm tackles. Very good power to him. Elite vision. Elite patience. Navigates through traffic very well. Very explosive. Will make you miss. Good spin move. Has some violence to him. Keeps his feet moving through contact. Decent blocker. Good burst. Very strong. Solid receiving target. Solid speed to him. Not truly elite, but it is solid. Yeah, I had a early second round value on him. Very good pick. Moving on to the Packers. Still got 2 elite receivers available. Could go there. They do need some corner help. Huh. This could be a Will Johnson scenario. Wouldn't be my pick. I like Ravel a little bit more, but again, injuries. Josh Simmons is still available. Best offensive lineman in the class, but again, the injury makes it spooky. Come on, Green Bay. They're probably going to take a while to announce this pick, too. I mean, the draft is in Green Bay. So, I mean, that makes sense. And they took forever with the Bears. So, Green Bay could do something weird. They're not that great of a drafting team. I'm curious what the Ravens are going to do. Ravens use the draft real well. I'll probably try to make a quick video too before I go to bed tonight about Kenny Grant. Upload that, then head to bed. Bro. It's taking forever. Someone really said that Kenny Grant gets stuck in the mud moving side to side. No, the hell he does not. He is not that kind of D tackle. He has a nose, but don't get it twisted. That dude is athletic as hell. Just kind of looking through Twitter while the Packers are taking forever, and I know they're going to make it a fucking ceremony. Just here on Twitter. Lieutenant Dan saying that he wasn't upset about the Jalen Walker pick. I would have been. 15? Mm-mm. Will Johnson has a knee injury. Interesting. by Adam Schefter. Turn some music up. Bro. I hope every team isn't about to take this down to less than a minute, man. I really hope that's not going to be the case. That's going to make this take forever. Make your damn picks. All right, pick is in for the Packers. You know they're going to do a bunch of pageantry. Understandable, but see maybe PFF. Nope. All right, they're at the podium now. Probably give a little speech about it. I mean, it is in Green Bay. That's understandable. Don't make it too long, though. You already took too long making the damn pick. Probably say something about the Vikings. They're picking right after you. That would make sense. Come on. Jesus. All right, PFF say anything? Bro. Just announced the damn pick. Matthew Golden, very good pick for Green Bay. Very good pick. People really aren't feeling Burton, huh? I liked him a lot. But Matthew Golden, 6 foot, 195 pounds. I think he ended up actually being 5'11". But either way, great body control. Can make great catches from bad passes, which is great. Fantastic hands. Changes up his tempo to set route runners. With his routes to set defenders up. Can get yak in open space. Can line up at all the wide receiver positions. Clutch player. Really solid route running. Good head and hand fakes. Good short area quickness. Explosive as hell. Good instincts. Absolutely has the speed to threaten the defense. Fantastic player. Definitely had a first round grade on him. I still got one more receiver with a first round grade. And Luther Burden. I forgot to mark Mika Ibuka. Drafted. So I can do them both at the same time. All right, Minnesota is on the clock, and their pick is in. Thank God. Doing the Lord's work. And you got 4 picks. Yeah, you're the one with 4 picks. You know what you're doing with it. Corner line makes sense. They could go get Burton right now, just to make sure that they can. This could be Will Johnson, if the knee really isn't a concern. Zach Wilson's going to be wearing 0. Okay. Still talking about Green Bay. I mean, again, it makes sense. I mean, it would make sense too. I mean, especially if Green Bay takes a receiver going corner for Minnesota, makes sense to counter that. And they do need one. Come on, man. Nothing. I use that one too much. I like this. I guess. All right. And how's the pink at? Or at least Goodell's at the podium. Donovan Jackson. Little bit of a reach. Nothing insane. But a reach nonetheless. All right. So guard Fulham through. Played tackle when Josh Simmons got hurt, though, at Ohio State. Can move people, can dig people out of trenches. Sometimes leans in the run game, which makes him lose his balance. Strong as hell, strong hands, good combo guy. Not a crazy athlete. Understands angles for second-level blocks. Tough, gritty player. I think he's shown the ability to play left and right guard, and the fact that he has played left tackle before does kind of help his versatility in a pinch. Sometimes doesn't sustain blocks. That's one thing I want to see him improve on. Good hand fight, though. I had an early third-round grade on him, so this is definitely a little early. But, yeah, they do get a pretty good guard. I had Milam as a better guard prospect. But, yeah. Tate Ratledge. Well, actually, him and Tate Ratledge tags are kind of touching for me. I had Giants. They weren't on the clock a second ago, were they? I don't think they were. I think they just traded up. This is probably quarterback. This has got to be quarterback. I mean, it could be technically wide receiver, but are you really trading back up to go get Luther Burden? Probably not. You're trading up to make sure you get the quarterback, I would imagine. Let me see. See if I can find information on the trade. Nothing on the trade. Imagine it wasn't cheap to come get your quarterback. Who was it before? I can't remember. Texans. It was the Texans. So the Giants moved up to 25, and they traded the 34, 99, and a third rounder in 2026. Yeah, that's a little pricey. But, I mean, if you're going to get your quarterback, then that makes sense. But if they did that for Burden or something, then that's hilarious. And it's a very Giants thing to do. But I imagine it's quarterback. I had a feeling it was going to happen somewhere. That's probably who was on the phone multiple times. Could be like Jackson Dart or something. Draft a different quarterback. Would be interesting. I did technically mock Shedeur Sanders to the Giants. It was just at 3. But I mean, if you could do what technically the Texans did 2 years ago, get Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud. Hell no. Oh shit! They really did draft Jackson Dart. I was joking. I was joking. Okay. Let me pull up his notes. Okay. So 6'2", 223, 3-year starter in the SEC, which is nothing to sneeze at. Pretty average athlete for the position. Pretty accurate though. Can scramble a little bit, but isn't really a running quarterback. Can make full field reads, but prefers the quick, easy throws. Slow, steady play suits him, kind of similar to like a Brock Purdy type of thing. More of a game manager than a driver. Solid decision making though. Sometimes can hesitate. Good anticipation in man, but I think he could definitely stand to improve versus zone. Good back shoulder throws, can throw a touch. Good cadence. Gets defenders to jump off sides. Feet could be better. Arm strength is enough to get the job done, but isn't great. I had a solid second round grade on him. So Jackson Dart is gone. And Shedeur Sanders is still there. That's according to PFF that's who they took. They haven't announced it on TV yet. Falcons just traded out. What the Falcons are looking for? When did they draft before? Yeah, that's right. They went and got Jalen Walker. They got Edge. I mean, the only player I would trade up for maybe at this point would have been Burton. I don't know. Tired. Shout out to Jackson Dart. It was him that went to the Giants. Falcons are now on the clock. That is a very Giants thing to do, though. I think he is a little less risky than Shedeur. But Shedeur's interviews must have went really bad. But they do not like quarterback talent, the Giants, huh? They do not like arm talent, is what I meant to say. Not that Shedeur has a cannon, but pick is in. Trying to see if I can find anything on PFF. No. Next pick. Nah. Wait. Actually, yeah. That's a fantastic pick if that's true. James Pierce. They've been needing a good edge rusher for a while. Well, actually, no, they got one. I got two now. Well, no, they double. I mean, yeah, they already got Jalen Walker. But also. It is, in fact, James Pierce. Okay. So, extremely explosive player on the smaller end for edge rushers, but that's okay. So is Jalen Walker. 6'5", 245 pounds. So not necessarily super small. Definitely more of a 3-4 outside linebacker, though. But like I said, extremely explosive, good production. Long player, definitely better standing up. Twitchy. Not a whole lot of moves and counters, but fantastic ball get off. Kind of raw. Rushes down the middle of people, kind of like Jalen. But has some power to him. Can get him on the move. Hard to run away from. Very good motor. Uses his hands pretty decently, actually. Needs to get some work in the run game for sure. Struggles a little bit when people run the ball toward him, but he is better at chasing people down. Has the speed to play right now with good upside. Mostly just a pass rusher right now, though. But with the speed, athleticism, and hands, it does give him enough to play right now. May need to come off the field a little bit right now for rundowns. Has the strength to play the run, though. Just going to need to improve technically. He just sometimes gets himself out of position. I had an early second-round grade on him. This is a good spot for him. I actually like him better than Jalen. Like value-wise, it would have been better to swap him. But they might be valuing Walker as a linebacker. That is what ESPN has him listed as. Yeah, D tackle makes a lot of sense. Could be like Tyleik Williams or something. Corner also makes sense. William Johnson. Siobhan Ravel, I think I've seen mocked to the Ravens. Who did I say that they would get? Todd Campbell? I don't think I thought Ravel. Yeah, I didn't think Ravel would still be here. So yeah, I mean that would make sense. Ravens draft pretty well, so we'll see. You still got Tyleik Williams, like I said. Did I mark them as gone? I don't think I did. I don't think I marked James Pierce as gone. I did not. All right. Let me get my mock off the screen. I'll change the music again. I'm out of different options. All right, pick is in. I gotta go to the bathroom too. I'll wait till after the draft. I'll wait. That is interesting, though, Atlanta doubling down. They do that a lot, I feel like. Like, if they have a position of need, they'll just double down on whatever it is. Yeah. Nothing. That's 6 picks left. Let's get through them. Hopefully, none of them take too long. Could still potentially have another trade up to go get Shedeur. So some more quarterback needy teams. Steelers, maybe. What is what's tomorrow look like? Yeah, Browns at the top of the board twice. Raiders possibly. Saints. Yeah. So if Pittsburgh wanted to go get Shedeur, they'd probably have to trade up. It'd probably be better to do it tonight rather than having to trade up with possibly the Browns, who also could use a quarterback. Malachi Starks. Yep, that is a very Ravens thing to do. He is. I don't even know why I wasn't thinking of that. He's very clearly the best player available. Yeah. So 6'1". I think he ended up being at like 196, 198, something like that. Makes big plays. Been in a ton of big games at Georgia. Physical as hell. Comes downhill very well. Good athlete. Good tackler. Has the speed you need for sure. Does have a little bit of a history of shoulder injuries, so you have to kind of look out for that, but nothing too crazy. Can play free and strong. I do prefer him probably as a free. Really solid in coverage. Has the athleticism and instincts you're looking for. Good ball skills. Smooth athlete. Intelligent player. I had him as like a mid first round talent, so this is insanely good value. All right, Detroit. They're also usually a pretty good drafting team in recent years. Yeah, they definitely do need defense. it's too early for Tyreek Williams, in my opinion. Mike Green could make sense. Pick is in. That's good. Milam. Now they could go receiver. Burton is still there. Ooh. I'm curious to see who puts on their nuts on the table for Josh Simmons. I could see that being Detroit. Jameson Williams was worked out. They drafted him while he was injured. Nothing. Nothing on Twitter. And like I said, I probably will do a quick little video talking about Kenny Grant before I go to bed tonight. Won't be anything crazy. I do need to work tomorrow. Ravens piss me off. He's going best player available all the time. Getting great fucking players. They didn't need Malachi Starks. What a Ravens safety room looking like? I know Kyle Hamilton, obviously. Who's there? Not free. Yeah, our Darius is a monster. Actually, they probably could use him. I'm glad our Darius Washington's getting the love he deserved. I loved him coming out of college. I really did. And I was so disappointed he went undrafted. And I understand he was tiny. That's why he went undrafted. He was like 165 or something. But such a good player. I don't give a damn that he was small. Tyreek Williams, I did not think they would take him. Not this early, but he's a good player. That's like the last like really good D tackle though. So, I mean, it does kind of make sense. More of a nose, for sure. 6'3", 327, athletic, good first step, strong, violent hands, great motor, moves well, deals with double teams very well, solid one tech, can give you a little bit of pass rush from the one tech spot. Strong and powerful, extends people with his reach, good speed to power, mostly a run game guy. Needs some more moves as a pass rusher, but he can push and collapse the pocket. Plays a little bit high sometimes. I'd like a little bit more knee bend. I did have a second round value on him, so it's not that crazy for him to go here. Especially, like I said, that is like the last really solid defensive tackle. I forgot to mark Derek Harmon. I have to go through this, make sure I didn't miss anybody afterward. I'll do it probably tomorrow for the second round. Washington's on the clock. Back's a little sore from this chair. This chair sucks. Nothing on Twitter. Well, actually, I haven't even put that back in, so I guess that makes sense. I'm just anxious to get this done. I'm trying to go to bed. Not sure yet if I'll stream tomorrow or Saturday. I'm not sure yet. I'll figure that out. May or may not. I got thumbnails made, but they're nothing crazy. It's just like this one. It's day 2 and day 3 instead of day 1. All right, come on. Pick his in. Pick his in. Washington. Oh, yeah, we talked about them. Edge, man. Safety, I mean, I got Makuba as a first round grade. Corner could be like Will Johnson or something, or Azrae Thomas, or there's a couple guys. Could go Caleb Johnson at running back. Edge. It's a little early for any of the edge rushers that are left for me. Actually, Mike Green would really work. I really have been slipping. I didn't mark that Jalen Walker was gone either. Josh Connerly. That is a good pick. Okay. So 6'4", 305 pounds. Really good athlete. Great feet. Great hands. Very technical pass protector. Good contact balance. Plays with good leverage. Good with his hands. Gets his hands there first. Strikes and is always there first. Very comfortable as a pass protector and patient. Smooth athlete. Definitely keep him at tackle. I think he moves well in the run game. He's not necessarily going to move anybody, but he is an athletic run blocker. Could definitely stand to get a little bit stronger. Definitely needs to stay at tackle because I don't want him against 300-pound guards. I'm sorry, defensive tackles. But he also doesn't get pushed aside either, even though he's not moving people. Yeah, I like him a lot. I had a second-round grade. Definitely keep him at tackle. And let's go ahead and establish that he's now gone. And those are my second-round grade tackles gone. Still got Wyatt Millam as a guard in the second-round grade. And Cameron Williams, the other Texas offensive lineman. Bills are on the clock. They definitely need corner help. Oh, man, wide receiver. Do not take Luther Burden. That'll hurt my heart. But he's kind of like Khalil Shakir a little bit. This could be like a Will Johnson thing or one of the corners. Like I said, I like Azrae Thomas better. I like I'm blanking on dude's name. Well, actually, Benjamin Morrison and Siobhan Revelle. I like all of those guys better than Will Johnson. But Siobhan Revelle is coming off an injury, so Siobhan Revelle would probably be the pick for me. Or Luther Burden. They do need wide receiver help, for sure. But equally, they also need corner. Taking a little while. This could be a quarterback needy team. Trying to trade up. That would make sense. If I were like Pittsburgh or something, trying to get ahead of the Browns, Raiders maybe. Pick is in. Not trading it. Okay. Still nothing. Okay. All right. taking a minute. Anything on Twitter? I just seen someone say that Jahad Campbell's going to fall to the Eagles, and you're probably right. That's going to piss me off. Shout out to this dude, but let's get the pick, man. You know they're going to do something for the... come on. Yeah, hype the kid up, but also I got to work tomorrow. Shout out to Tommy. Maxwell Harrison. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of a reach for me. I'm not going to lie to you. More of a nickel corner. I had a third-round grade on him. I had quite a few corners above him. Not a bad player by any means, though. Okay, here we go. 6'1", 186 pounds. Great ball skills. Smooth athlete. High IQ player. Great hips. Reads routes pretty well. Understands space. Good effort guy. Explosive moving downhill. Long speed is a little lacking. Size and speed are probably going to make him play nickel. Reads and reacts pretty well. Good in man and zone. Competitive. Like I said, I did have a third-round grade on him, but he is a good player. Kind of a reach. He was my cornerback 9. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners still available, ranked higher than him. So. Eagles are on the clock. Wait. Eagles and Chiefs just traded. Okay. How are the Eagles doing? They could go get Jahad Campbell. Who would be my best available player? Kuba. Luther Burden. Don't really need receiver too much, but well, I kind of do. That's what I would do. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely got to go through this list and mark off the people I forgot to mark off. Jesus, I definitely forgot to do quite a few. Sorry. I'm almost sick. Always sick. My job. Curious what it costed for the Chiefs to give up and move down one spot. Pick is in for the Eagles. Hopefully the Chiefs have a good idea what the hell they're doing. Come on, man. Hopefully we don't get another commercial break after the Eagles one. Just do both of them. Nothing on Twitter about what this pick might be. Unfortunately. Jahad Campbell. Yeah. Sure enough. That is really unfortunate. Let me scroll down for you. It hasn't come on here yet, or even on the TV, but that's what PFF had posted. So let's all right. Jahad Campbell, 6'3", 244, from Alabama. Good in coverage, reads quarterback's eyes very well, good ball skills, intelligent player, good in the run game, can go sideline to sideline very well. Very misdirection can be an issue for him at times, but he is patient. Will choose to be a step slow to make sure that he's right. Will sometimes run himself into blocks at times, though, in the run game. That is something I want to see him improve on. Needs to get lower when he tackles. That is one thing. He does tackle kind of high. Good instincts, lines up everywhere. Tough player, sets the edge actually pretty well. Good hands, can play any of the linebacker positions. He's an effective blitzer. Good effort guy. I had a early second round value on him. This is a really good pick for the Eagles. And that means that Kansas City is all that's left. They could go running back. Or like Caleb Johnson or something. Or they could be the one. Ooh, Luther Burden. They could use receiver. That's what I would do. Put their nuts on the table for Josh Simmons. With the Burden potentially fall into the second round is nuts to me. They might do a little presentation for Philly too. They are Super Bowl champs after all. But they didn't do anything huge for Green Bay, so that's where the fucking draft is. So we'll see. Yep, Jihad Campbell. There it is on the TV, and there it is on ESPN. So now Kansas City is on the clock. Very sad seeing him go to Philly. You know he's going to be a monster. All right, KC, let's wrap this up. Hopefully, I don't take. Pick us in. Thank God. Let's go. Like I said, they've needed receiver help for a little while. So Luther Burden would be fantastic value. Let's take a look at the receiving core. Yeah, Hollywood Brown, Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, sure, Juju, Xavier Worthy. I would still go probably receiver. But the Bird's better than all those dudes. Well, Rashee Rice is a monster. Just can he stay out of trouble? That's the problem with the Chiefs. I don't know if I'd want to get drafted by the Chiefs if I'm a receiver. I think it's a curse. Be great to play with Pat, but Jesus. Or, just make better decisions. Whichever comes first. Pick is in. Come on. He's been in for a little bit. And give him his moment, of course. Jihad Campbell going to the Super Bowl champ, Philadelphia Eagles. Great spot for him. My favorite linebacker in the class. Only one I actually feel that good about, actually. Because like Carson, Schlesinger, Demetrius Knight, not necessarily. Like I said, I had Walker as an edge. But I like Jihad Campbell better than Walker, even just as an overall player. All right. Let's do this. Why not? Last pick of the night. This chair sucks. Definitely got to replace it at some point. It's broken. But, Yeah, Josh Simmons could be a possibility here, too. Like I said, Luther Burden, Josh Simmons. I'm curious to see who puts their nuts on the table for Josh Simmons. KC looks happy with it. Ian Rappaport in that room? Almost looks like him. That'd be crazy. That's crazy, though. Shedeur is really going to slide to the second round. That's insane. He must have really fucked up those interviews. He must look like a dumbass. Something. This is the last pick of the first round. I wouldn't be surprised if he... Oh, nope, Josh Simmons. Yep, okay. Glad you didn't bleed it out. Cool, thanks. But yeah, Josh Simmons is an amazing player. I've been talking about him all night. 6'5", 310, fantastic player, great knee bend. He is coming off a knee injury, which is the reason he fell. This guy is a top 5 value player that just unfortunately had a knee injury that made him fall. But great feet, pulls very well, athletic, handles gap exchanges super well, uses his length. Good finish, great hands. Is always striking first. Very smart player. Has the strength to play tackle. He could play guard too, but keep him at tackle. Turns defenders away from the play in the run game. Great hand fight. Doesn't settle for bad hand position. Good contact balance. Plays with a good base. Pops his feet if he's up against someone stronger than him. Good anchor. Likes hitting people. Doesn't, like I said, doesn't settle for bad hand position. Great hips. Yeah, like I said, he had a knee injury that ended the season in October, but he's a fantastic player. He's a left tackle, but he has played right tackle before, so that versatility is kind of nice too. So yeah, Kansas City got themselves the best offensive lineman in the draft, at least pre-injury. So great pick. Definitely early first round talent, like top 5 type of talent. So yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Or for this stream. It'll become a video. Sorry, that's just used to that being my outro. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.